Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to make a Halloween project. I'm going to make this bag, this goodie bag, featuring the Motley Monsters Designer Series paper, which you can find in the holiday catalog on page 45. And also the little ghost is from the Fall Fest stamp set and framelits, matching framelits. So if you want to do the bundle, save 15%. And it is a great little bag. It actually measures, let's see here, it measures 5 by 5.5, 5 by 5.5, and then it's actually 3 inches wide. So it's actually a nice, you can't obviously see it because of the black paper, but yeah, so it's a great little goodie bag, especially for the kids at school. If you can actually give gifts at school. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to use some basic black cardstock. I have mine already cut down here, but you're going to need 2 pieces, and they measure 9.5 by 8.5. This one's already scored, but we're going to go ahead and score the second piece. And then you're also going to need, I pulled these little cute little ghosts because I figured that matched the little ghost tag. And this is actually measured at 5.25, beg your pardon, 5.25 by 4 3/4. Okay, so let's get started. Getting our paper trimmer here. Hopefully we can get this on camera. So you want to take your paper going portrait mode. And then I'm going to use the little piece on the side here. Get your cutting blade out of the way. But I'm measuring here, this is going to be the 1/2 inch. I'm going to score that. And then move over to this side, and we're going to actually measure this at 5. And we're going to score that down. Then we're going to flip it with the little 1/2 inch piece at the top. This is actually important. So the 1/2 inch piece is at the top, and you're going to score it at 3. Hang on. Oh, see, and I'm already messing up. Okay, this one's actually going to be at 1 inch. I like to add a little extra piece at the top of my bags, just because I know with kids, it actually helps reinforce it. So, okay, so what I should have done is actually put the 1/2 inch at the bottom, and then you could have scored at the 1 inch here, and then the 3 inch over here, because it's 3 inches wide. So, okay, so I've got that scored, my other piece is scored, and now we're going to do some cutting. Get that out of the way. My scissors. Okay, now we are actually going to take some pieces away. We're going to take, and I'm sure you probably can't see this, I should have used probably some lighter paper, but there's this tiny little sliver here and a tiny little sliver here at the top. We're actually going to remove those pieces from both sheets of paper, and then we're going to also notch it. So on this piece where you'll see it when you do your own, but there is actually a piece there. That's your 3 inch score line that you're going to notch into so that it makes a nice finished edge. And then up here you're going to do the same thing. Going to notch that to the corner, and then over here. You can do it however is more convenient to you. If you want to actually cut your score lines first and then notch it, purely up to you. So for example, we're going to cut up the score lines to the first score line, and then you're going to notch in. And that just helps make it fold a little nicer. Takes away some of the bulk. I'm actually going to notch down here as well. Okay, and then when we go back down to the bottom, you have this big, huge 3 inch piece down at the bottom. So cut up that score line. And again, just for bulk, because this is really thick cardstock, I actually cut this piece in half. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then again, just notch it, because it helps when you're actually folding and sealing it to provide a little ease. So see, there you go. So I've got my notches in there, so that's what I mean by notches. I did not notch the bottom piece because it's just easier to line up that way. So you're going to want to use some pretty strong adhesive. I'm just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to use snail. And of course you'd want to use your bone folder to make nice sharp creases, which I'm not using. I think anyone who's ever made these 3D boxes or bags knows the importance of nice crisp score lines. But anyway, so you want to fold all your score lines, make them nice and crisp, and you're going to want them to be going in the same direction. Okay, so here's my two boxes, my two pieces. We have them all scored and folded. Again, use your stronger adhesive. We're going to put adhesive on this piece, and we're going to put adhesive on this, so on your little 1/2-inch pieces. I'll get my snail to actually work. And then put some on this piece. And then we're going to line these up. So you can really just line up your score marks at the top and the bottom. Oops. For some reason they look like they're a little off. And then fold over. At least this is what I do. Makes it a little easier, because it should technically line up, and it does. Okay, so there's the beginning makings of our bag. Okay, this is also when I would actually put on my DSP. So we will put them on here, and we will line that up. Sorry, let me get the camera. Other piece, and obviously you're going to want to make sure that with the pattern you're going the right side up. Okay, so now we're going to close up this piece. Like I said, I prefer to add an inch at the top, just because I think it gives a little bit more reinforcement for the ribbon or string or whatever you're going to use, because I know that those get pulled on, you know, and if there's any weight inside, they're definitely going to need some assistance. So I just pulled those back so that I could put the adhesive on it without having to flip it over, and then you just fold those in, give them a nice little press. Okay, and then you're going to do the bottom. Now what I like to do is I put adhesive as close to that score line as I can, and then the bottom of that tab. And of course I need to flip this over and show you the other piece. And again, so for the smaller tabs, I try to put it as close to the score lines, and then you just pick whichever piece you want, so the bigger piece. And I do the same thing. So put one strip as close to the score line and one strip to the edge. And then you open that up. So you're going to fold down those pieces. And then you're going to take the piece that has the adhesive on it, and you're going to line up the edges on each side. And then you flip the top piece over. You can kind of go in from the top if you want, just to kind of press that down. And then there's your bag. Very cute. Now I also, so to put the holes in the top here for the ribbon, what I like to do is I pinch them in, just kind of pinch the sides together, and it creates kind of like that sandwich bag kind of thing, and so it opens up just a little bit. For me, that gives me a good guideline as to where I want to punch my holes. So what I do is I try to line up the side of my hole punch with that little thing there, that little notch, so that I allow for enough clearance to put in the ribbon. And I'm actually going to use my Crocodile for this, because I don't actually have the smaller handheld And I think with this thick paper, it makes it easier just to go through all this. Okay, and so then I lined that up with that hole, and I'm actually going to flip it so it's a little easier. And then in with that one, pop those out, easy peasy. Now they're perfectly lined up on each side. Now for our ribbon, I'm actually using, so on my sample, I used this black cording that I just happen to have in my stash. But what I don't like is that it frays. So I happen to have some of the sweater trim, which actually is still in the clearance rack and available. So I figured, you know what, that works. It's with the ghosts, it's white. I'm okay with it. So then what you're going to do is, I took about, I don't know. It really depends on how long you want it. Probably about 8 to 10 inches. You probably don't need that much. But take that, feed it through, and you want to be careful with this sweater trim just because it ravels a bit. So just make a small knot at the bottom. And then feed the other one through. There you go. Other side. Done. Perfect. Okay, and then for our tag, now I've already gone ahead and stamped and cut out with my framelits the little ghost. I used the Black Stays On ink with the Fun Fall Fest, or sorry, not Fun Fall Fest. It is the Fall Fest stamp set and matching framelits to cut out my little ghost. And then I'm going to again use my crocodile, and I'm just going to put a tiny little hole right up top. You could use your paper piercer, depends on whatever kind of ribbon you're going to use. I'm actually using a piece of the white baker's twine, which I had. So I'm just taking a piece of the white baker's twine, let through, and then you just want to tie that to your bag. And if you want to stamp on the back who it's from or Happy Halloween, you obviously can put on there whatever you want, or just leave it blank. It's pretty cute this way. So for my son's class, I'm just going to put from Andrew. They really won't care. They're 5th graders. All they care about is the candy inside. And there you have it. It's a cute, cute little bag. Love it. And again, the final dimensions of the box are 5 by 5.5 by 3. So 5 by 5.5 by 3. So it's actually a really good size box. I mean, a bag. It'd be perfect for even gift giving in the when the holidays come, for jewelry items or what have you. So I hope you like it. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.